Dr. Rachel Francis is here from the Marion Animal Hospital. And so good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yesterday was it? No, not yesterday, but Friday. Friday, I finally made it over to the cemetery to see where my shadow is buried. And, I just stood there and blubbered and cried all over again. And
Was it an anniversary?
No. I just, I hadn't been there since that day that I buried him. And I went back and...
That's a nice cemetery.
Yes, it's a beautiful cemetery. It's a pet cemetery that overlooks Route 3 in Plymouth. And I found him, and I couldn't believe it, It's been 3 years, and there I was crying. I'm not any better now today than I was 3 years ago. But I was very glad to go home and be able to hug Marley.
Hug Marley, yeah.
Yes, hug Marley. So anyway, what's happening?
Well, the seasons are changing.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting colder now. Hopefully the fleas are going to start to die off.
Yes.
It's been one more bad year.
Has it?
Oh, it's been terrible with the fleas
I
and
had
the
them
ticks.
last year with
Did you?
Marley. Yes.
Yeah, I had them a couple years ago with my dog, and I was surprised at how bad they are. So
Yes.
we are hopefully going to start to see those decline. Everyone's putting, all kinds of stuff on their animals right now. You do want to be careful this time of year because the fleas just seem everywhere. It's not quite cold enough yet, and they've just had that. The end of August, beginning of September is probably the worst flea time.
It is.
Yeah, because they've had all summer to procreate, and now they're just at their max level, and it's not quite cold enough for them to die yet, and they're desperate to get that last meal before the winter. So this is definitely the time when we start to see toxicities, people putting shampoos, drops, other chemicals and stuff on their pets, and they're all safe individually. Things you get from Petco and things like that are safe individually, but if you start to combine a lot of things together, the pets can get sick. It's not like this, the labels say, don't use with this and this. So you just have to be a little careful and read the ingredients. Make sure you're not doubling up on the same chemical. You want to go different chemicals. That's the way to go. So you spray one thing outside, like an insect growth regulator. Methoprene is the most popular. It's been around a long time. It comes in all kinds of sprays. Spinosid's also really popular.
Is there a certain kind of plant that they sort of hang around the fleas that the animals
No,
pick up?
fleas don't care about plants.
They don't care about
Nope,
plants.
they care. Fleas.
That's something that, the people don't. I didn't know that.
Yeah, ticks like long grass. I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
because they like to get up and jump on things. Fleas like warm-blooded, furry things. So if you're looking at your yard or your property and you're thinking, where are the fleas coming from? It's probably the wood pile where the little mice and stuff are making their homes. If you have a bunch of squirrels, if you have flying squirrels in your attic, you don't have to have a rat or mouse infestation in your house, but those definitely would bring in fleas. If you have squirrels outside, anything that's warm-blooded, moles, voles, they love it. Anything furry.
Oh,
So that's they
okay.
like. So if they're running around, and then the fleas just drop right off, and then you walk by the area, and those eggs come right in on your shoes. They hatch in your house because your house is perfect. 70 degrees is the ideal flea temperature. So if they can get into your house, they're golden. They'll just start all over. And then the winter doesn't really matter because they're inside.
That's right.
So they have carpet and stuff like that. So vacuuming, spraying your grounds with an insect growth regulator, but then using an organophosphate on the pet, or we have great prescription oral flea medications with people like too.
Oh,
because
the pill.
then
That pill that you have there, that's what I used last.
Yeah, it's great.
Last
It's great.
year when Marley got them.
Yeah, it's great. So that one works really well, but you still, if you have a bad flea infestation, you still should treat the environment too. So keeping it off the pets is step one, but then you still have, so the experts tell us that the live fleas are only 10% of the actual flea population in your house. So a live flea is only 10%. And there's all these larvae and eggs and things like that.
Oh, okay. So, yes.
So you have a lot more hatching out. They take 3 months to hatch out. So you have to keep up with it. And then around here, we usually
So
just
I
say,
was very lucky because I didn't certainly, go into the looking for the eggs and all that kind of stuff.
No, you probably wouldn't even see them anyway. They're microscopic. So you have to vacuum really well.
I don't have any carpeting in the front part of the house where the kitchen is and the living room, but I do have it in the bedrooms.
Yeah, so that's where you'd want to, if you had a flea infestation, you have your dog on year-round flea medicine, so you're all set. But if you had a flea infestation, you'd want to vacuum that carpet really well, throw the bag out, or if you have an automatic thing, clean it after every time, because if you just put it away, they're going to hatch.
They're going to hatch.
Yep. And then the other thing that you can do is then spray, once you vacuumed, spray with an insect growth regulator. And there's a bunch over the counter. And usually then they're all pet safe. But don't vacuum that up. So I have some people who, when you put stuff on your carpet, you don't want to leave it there. It's gross, right?
Yeah.
You want to vacuum it up. So you got to leave it.
You got to leave it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had fleas many, many years ago when I had a Siamese cat.
Cats are, it's their natural parasite. So cats are, and because cats are, you don't always see the fleas right away because they're grooming constantly, So cats are the ones, and you have to treat every cat. You can't just treat the inside cat. You have to treat the cats that go out.
Yes.
So anyway, so that's what we see this time of year is sometimes people getting very upset at how many fleas they have and using multiple products. And we see a lot of parasites, fleas carry parasites this time of year. So we'll get a lot of calls for worms and things like that.
Now, is the ticks, how are the ticks? Were they bad this year? I didn't seem to run into them as much.
They were I don't know actually. The CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, is predicting this is the worst year out of the last 3. Every year they've been like, this is the worst year. And then last year they were like, no, this is the worst year. And then this year they were saying, no, this is going to be the worst year. And I didn't appreciate them. I didn't think it was that bad. No. I got some ducks, though, for my yard.
You got some ducks? Mm-hmm. And what do ducks do?
They are cleaning up those I have not seen one tick.
Oh, the ducks eat the ticks?
They eat everything.
Oh.
I haven't had Japanese beetles. I haven't had anything. They're just... I love those ducks.
That's nice. You love those ducks.
I'm not saying you should get a duck. I'm just saying that's what happened to me this year.
I ended up with Marley chasing the duck all over. Oh, Marley sheds.
Yes.
Oh, my
Pugs
God.
shed. Oh, my God.
Does she shed. And then nothing is allowed to be on this street. Nothing.
Yeah. It's probably not safe.
And everything that any people walk up and down the street, any car goes up and down the street, she's got the view out the big window.
The Wareham police can just take the day off. She's got it. She'll call them if she needs them.
Now, how is the other thing I wanted to ask you about was, how is that dog that you...
Good.
The little dog that got hit?
Yeah, she's doing well.
What I wanted to talk about was, of course, I read the article in the Wareham Week. And so our officer, who's Cheryl, and thank you for bringing her name up, and Cheryl picked up the dog because it was injured, and then the owner of the dog didn't couldn't afford any kind of, according to the article, couldn't afford any kind of medical help. So Cheryl took the injured dog to you, to the Marion Animal Hospital. Now, you're taking care of the dog. How does that work?
It's a team effort. I have this amazing bunch of people who volunteer their time whenever we get one of these guys in.
Because this is a hospital. You know, this is the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah, no, we have a shoestring budget.
And you know,
we live month to month just like everybody else.
Yeah, and you got a business, and then all of a sudden, in walks Cheryl, who happens to be Wareham's animal control office, and you're in Marion, so Marion could do the same thing.
Yes.
And so could Mattapoisett.
Actually, this week we got 2 more. So apparently now I'm running a shelter. We got a cat in, and we also had a client surrender an animal. She couldn't care for it, or it's a complicated story. So now we have a 9-year-old dog who has a skin infection, but otherwise he's very sweet. We have Phoebe, who only has 3 functional legs, and now we have this cat, and I need homes for all of them, if anyone's interested. But we can't do the adoptions, so we're not a pet store,
right?
And we're not a shelter. So what we have to do
I
is...
just want to, explain that out to people. Because
So what we do is we donate our time, and my staff donates their time. And then we basically have a running log of all the medicines that we use. So we take that as a loss. So we just keep track of it, and we have a fund called the Surrendered Pet Fund. So we get donations into it. Right now it's a little negative, but we get donations into it, and then we use that money to pay for medicines. But all the time and the expertise and the care of these animals is donated by myself and my staff. So that is donated. So then the medications we keep track of. And right now Phoebe is on pain medication because she had a fractured pelvis. Her right foot was severed by the car, so she did lose the right foot. And she's also had fleas. So all that medication we're tracking it. We get donated medication sometimes, so we keep that on hand as long as it's not expired. We'll use it on pets that come in. And then hopefully we'll get enough donations. We can't actually adopt her out ourselves because that would make us a pet store, which we are not. So we have to find an agency to do the adoption for us. And they will get the adoption fee, not us.
I see.
So that's how that works. And so the only way that we will get the Surrendered Pet Fund back up to where we can help other animals is through donations.
But that's a good thing to know that is.
Yeah,
is
it's not a big
setup.
fund. It's not a big fund. Usually it's under $1,000 that we keep it. But right now it's with Phoebe and these other pets. This time of year it's a little negative. But once we get them out, we should be able to.
Now Phoebe is a
Chihuahua.
A Chihuahua.
We think, or a miniature pinscher, or a mix. She's kind of big for a Chihuahua. She's 10 pounds. So she's
10 pounds. Okay. Then the cat is.
The cat is a young cat. It came in over the weekend. It's in rabies quarantine right now. It has an injury to the tail. So it had bit the person who scooped it up. So now it's in rabies quarantine. But after it gets out of that, it's very sweet. And its tail injury will heal. It'll be fine. So we'll probably adopt that cat out through the It's All About the Animals in Rochester.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you had another dog.
Yeah, we have another dog, a 9-year-old Shiba Inu mix who was surrendered. It has a skin condition, which is just a skin infection, and I think it's a flea bite dermatitis. So that should get better. He is so sweet. He's adorable.
Is he big or?
He's about 30 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's a little overweight.
A little overweight.
But he is a
Sort of.
sweetheart.
That's where Marley is close to sometimes, but
So let me
I
finish
try
your
to
question
watch him.
about Phoebe. So right now, Phoebe's pelvis is healing. She's able to walk around now. She is able to go outside to pee and poop, so that's good. That was one of our 2 requirements for continuing her care. We can't adopt anything out that needs a diaper or anything like that. So she's doing well in that department. Her behavior is excellent. We were a little worried when she came in because she was so hurt that she was very defensive. But now she's awesome, loving, loves everybody. So now we have to figure out what to do with this foot. We're looking right now at prosthetics. So we're trying to figure out, prosthetics are expensive. So we're trying to figure out how to make our own in the meantime, and we're going to try to call these companies and see if anyone would donate a prosthetic for this dog. It needs about a 4-inch attachment to the back of the foot, and then we were thinking some kind of ping pong ball or something on the bottom so she can have traction. It's possible the leg might need to be amputated, but right now it's healing so well. And it's the good side. It's the pelvic. It's the side where the pelvic is healthier. So we'd like to preserve it if we can. So that's where we're at with her. And she needs to get spayed. So that's another next step we're going to do. But she's doing awesome. She is. She's doing great.
Because if she doesn't have that prosthetic, what will that mean for her?
Well, if we don't get a
walking?
prosthetic for her, we may see how she does without it. Mm-hmm. But what's happening is it's long enough where she's touching the floor, and that could create a chronic injury, which would be uncomfortable. We don't want her uncomfortable. So if we can get a little bit of an extension where she can lean on that side, and we're thinking maybe straps and like some kind of, there's a bunch of different prosthetics, but they are expensive. So we're out of money right now for her, so we're trying to figure out what to do.
But anybody that's out there that's interested,
Yeah, so we have a list going for her. So when she is ready for adoption, that list, I think, is going to get given to the adoption agency.
Okay, so you have a list on.
Yeah, Cheryl has a list going.
And didn't we talk right up to, we got 1 minute left.
Oh, okay.
So your last minute, I want to give it to you.
I guess the only other thing that I wanted to tell people is, we have a new vet. Oh, she's awesome. She just moved to Marion. Dr. Breda is basically devoting her life to charity right now. She's in a couple of times a month, but she's doing a spay-neuter, which is the equivalent of veterinary Peace Corps, basically. She's... Oh.
You got like 30 seconds.
Okay.
We got 30 seconds.
But we have a new doctor. Her name is Melanie Bickus. She's a Marion resident. She's wonderful. So we have more appointment availability because one of our problems was we were booking out, a month and 6 weeks, and that was a big problem. So now we have another doctor. And she's great. That's all I want to say.
Okay. So listen, and you're going to come back. She's going to come back. She promised me she'll come back. So so we can always have information on the animals and an update. We
Sure.
don't know. There'll be updates on
Sure, I should bring her
various
next
things.
time.
That'll be cute.